Hello there everyone, it's Aidan here from Push Square, and if time flies when you're having fun, June will be done with in the blink of an eye, and that's because it is absolutely stacked with massive releases making their way to PlayStation. Now this video is not going to cover every single release, but we are going to be looking at the biggest games, 8 in particular that I think you should be really excited about. But anyway, enough waffling, let's get into the biggest releases heading to PlayStation in the month of June. We're starting off the month right with the wickedly colourful Street Fighter VI, which is shaping up to be a true return to form for the series. With reworked controls, superb visuals, and an enormous collection of content to fight your way through, Street Fighter VI is a solid offering for those looking to show off their skill and make a name for themselves in the online battle hub. There are a variety of modes to enjoy and even a story to experience, and the revamped graffiti paint art style for special moves really spices up the gameplay of this long-running series. Street Fighter VI will be available to purchase on PS4 and 5 on June 2nd, and you can check out our review right now on the Push Square channel. Next up we have Loop 8 Summer of Gods, which is a coming-of-age RPG where an outsider arrives in a rural town in 1980s Japan with the ability to loop time. So that mixture means that you'll be looping through the same cycle the last month before the end of the world supposedly, and you can see how your everyday actions and relationships impact your battle against the invading king guy. But with the end of the world just being 1 month away, don't let that worry you. You have the ability to jump back to the beginning of the month, and this means that you can seep yourself in the game's setting by checking out downtown restaurants or establishing relationships with new characters. You can check out the town of Ashihara when Loop 8 Summer of Gods drops on PS4 on June 6th. On the very same day, Diablo 4 arrives on both PS4 and 5, and let me tell you people, my body and soul are ready for this game. You will start your quest against the demonic Lilith, who is looking to reclaim the world of Sanctuary, which is steadily being filled with all sorts of monstrosities. With different classes to choose from, dungeons to conquer, varied landscapes to explore, a story to enjoy, and much more, Diablo 4 is the kind of game that will conquer your free time if you let it, and why would you avoid it if you could do all of that with friends as well? Now this is shaping up to be a true comeback for the Diablo series, and you can check out our review to see why. But to put it bluntly, this is more in line with the genre-defining Diablo 2. If, like me, you simply cannot wait to get your hands on this one, early access for the Ultimate Edition begins a few days earlier on June 2nd. I would love to snatch this up, but I'm actually without internet until June 5th, so the wait is going to be brutal. Jumping ahead a little to June 16th, the latest entry in the yearly Formula 1 series makes its way to PS4 and 5. This year, the Breaking Point campaign is making a return with a full original story to enjoy. But for those wondering how the game is changing, it of course is also expected to receive a number of improvements to the gameplay, with feedback from Formula 1 being implemented into the game. This is all in the hope to bring the racing experience closer to the real thing, and that means you can expect better physics systems, handling, and for those using a DualSense controller, an in-depth customization system that allows for a more precise experience on controller. As if that wasn't enough, players will also be able to test out their mettle in the new Las Vegas track, which hasn't actually even debuted in the real-life Formula 1. One of the most iconic PlayStation figures, Crash Bandicoot, is making his way back to the platform on June 20th in Crash Team Rumble. This is a colourful brawler where you will play as characters from the series in teams of 4 and battle it out in a variety of different modes. To me, this feels like an old school PlayStation release, like the classic Crash Team racing games, so I'm willing to give it a shot when it drops on PS4 and 5. Players will have different power-up abilities and mechanics to come to grips with as they fight for their team to come out the other side victorious. While it's disappointing that it doesn't support local multiplayer, it does still look like a fun and simple time. If you took the dark and grimy universe of the Alien franchise and partnered it up with the XCOM series, you'd have something a little like Alien's Dark Descent. This is a top-down, real-time strategy game where you will command a squad of colonial marines as they navigate dimly lit sci-fi hallways filled to the brim with slimy xenomorphs. As a huge fan of the Alien franchise, Dark Descent is threatening to become my first real-time strategy game, as not only is it drenched in the atmosphere and pristine visuals of that world, but it's also home to a completely original Alien storyline. You'll need to come to grips with the tight-knit mechanics and keep your head on a swivel, because once a Marine is gone, they are gone for good, and that only decreases the chances of your squad making it through alive. You even have to monitor their stress levels. It all sounds incredibly cool, and you can try it out for yourself when Aliens Dark Descent launches on PS4 and 5 on June 20th. A couple of days later, we have the release that I suspect a lot of you have been waiting for. Final Fantasy XVI bursts onto the PS5 this month, sucking us into a new fantasy world, filled of course with crystals to fight over, family dramas, and some of the flashiest combat you have ever seen. You can check out our preview for this on the channel, and of course expect a full review on the run up to release, but it's safe to say that Final Fantasy XVI looks like a ton of fun, and easily one of the best looking games on PS5 with a complete particle overload. The scale of this thing is ridiculous and very Final Fantasy, but for those unfamiliar with the franchise, Square Enix is labelling 16 as one of the better entries in the series to start with. It looks like there will be a lot of firsts for me in June, because this will also be my first Final Fantasy game, and I cannot wait for it to drop on June 22nd. And last but not least, we have AEW Fight Forever, a nostalgia-filled wrestling title that will launch on PS4 and 5 on June 29th. Fight Forever is all about capturing that old school wrestling vibe with arcade controls that are easy to understand but difficult to master. The game is filled with a recognisable roster of all elite wrestling fighters, and you can take them out for a spin in some manic modes. And there's even a campaign thrown in there too. If you're a fan of wrestling classics like WWE SmackDown vs Raw 2007, there's a throwback there for you, then this game is for you, and hopefully it will manage to capture that sense of good old-fashioned fun. And that is it for the month of June. Let me know which of these games you are most looking forward to, including those that were not in this list as well. For me, Diablo 4 all day, every day. I just cannot wait to sink my teeth into a massive game like this with friends. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, why not consider leaving a like and even subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with the latest PlayStation news, reviews, and everything in between. I've been Aaron, and I'll catch you in the next one.